Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of FTWGT Weekly. I am your Egyptian god of good taste, Lenny, and I am joined with my producer extraordinaire, Don Tizzle, D-Nice, D'Once, Noels. How are you, Dante?
All right. Quite an introduction. I'm doing well.
Thank you for being here. And thank you to you for being here at the 10th wonder of the world, the Egyptian podcast. The Pyramids of Giza. We're here. I'm like Hayden Christensen in that movie with Samuel L. Jackson. I'm like that one time that Gerard Butler did that movie about Egyptian gods. I'm that good Brendan Fraser movie. I'm an even better version of Black Adam.
Ooh, is that a Mummy reference?
You think the Black Adam part's the Mummy reference?
Oh. All right, guys. Again, I don't know shit about shit, so.
You could have said the Scorpion King. He's in that movie.
Ah.
Oh my god, dude. This is what's happening here. I'm on like a weird spot here.
Starting out strong.
Oh my god. What a beginning. Yeah, so we are here. It's been a few days, so we're going to be working back through some different stuff that's been going on across the world of movies, TV, entertainment, maybe some MMA if I trail off in that direction at any point. But we're going to start this week with, funny enough, Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Who would have thunk it? Kind of apropos, no, Dante?
Yeah.
You saw this one, right?
Yeah, I actually did. I made it to this one.
It's exciting. You've actually made it to 2 in a row. I've got to give you some credit. Just to keep the people in the loop. You made it last week to Scream. You made it this week to Shazam. Let's start with you. How'd you feel about it?
Honestly, man, you get used to getting disappointed by DC movies, and I kind of went in with low expectations, and I really like this one.
Yeah, I think I felt mostly the same. And if we could just start here, because I think this is the interesting point. Could you provide us what the estimated box office? We're recording this on Sunday, so we probably don't have the Sunday totals, but they're generally pretty good about being able to estimate where things were at. So if you could, do you know what our box office outlook is?
For domestic opening weekend, we're looking at 30.5 mil.
That doesn't sound right, Dante.
That's what's on the screen.
So that's what I had too. I did see that, right? I know what you're talking about, but then I also saw, and I'm gonna see if I can pull this up while we go. Can you try seeing if we can cite another source just to verify that?
Yeah.
Because I do agree. I have here from a Twitter account discussing film, just to give them their proper credit. They have 908,000 followers, so see them if this information's wrong. They came out and said 30 million, right? But then I swear I saw a tweet from them today. Here we go. 9 hours ago. Shazam! Fury of the God. Oh, never mind. So you are still right. 30 million is domestic, 65 and a half worldwide. This movie was estimated at, I think, $80 million previous to the weekend, and it has bombed. I think this would qualify as a bomb. Can you give me a budget number? That may be something I should have had you look up earlier. Just to see what maybe if it gives us the budget for Shazam anywhere. Yeah. I have to imagine it's like 150, 200 million probably. More than that maybe. And we're talking, this movie's not going to make its money back maybe. And it is a shame. It is a shame because overall, I think this is a perfectly serviceable superhero movie. You saw Ant-Man with us, right?
No, I didn't make it to that one.
Shit.
By the way, budget 125 mil.
Yeah, okay. So like 150, 125. So you're estimating like 300 million, 250 million was the overall with budget, maybe with promotional shit. So it's going to, I can't imagine a world where this makes its money back. And that's sad because we're going to end up in a spot where it's probably not going to get another sequel. And I wonder how much that hurt it to begin with, because you have to imagine that the death blow for Shazam actually came months ago when Black Adam came out. Because that movie did bad, despite what The Rock will tell you. He's a wrestler, Dante, just to fill you in. And he's not Jason Momoa, if you were wondering. But that movie was bad.
I can smell what you're cooking.
Good one.
Yeah, you like that?
The Rock was the Rock would tell you that movie was very successful. It was not. It did poorly, and I think a lot of it was just a bad movie. This movie, on the other hand, it's fun. It has a good idea what it is. It's just it's not going to reinvent the wheel at all. But I think all of the characters were pretty good. Somebody told me that they had heard that the story was like congested and there was too much going on. I don't agree. I thought all of the you had the same main characters that they focused on Shazam 1 being I forget what all the kids' names are. You have them in front of you there?
I can pull them up.
I was gonna say Barry Allen. That's a different movie. Billy Blumpkin.
No, it was not Blumpkin. I think it was like Bolton or Blayton or something like that.
Blumpkin. What was their first Blumpkin, Dante?
Refresh my memory. What the hell's a Blumpkin? No, it's not.
Urban Dictionary, that, folks.
Yeah.
Later, not the time. Later. It's not the time.
God damn it.
Zachary Levi's character, the very top, dude. Second person.
Yeah, no, but like that's the adult one, so it just says Shazam. Oh, I'm trying to find the kid actor because now I got to look for two.
So it's him, and then it's the kid that Adam Brody, Seth from the OC plays. Like they're primarily your main focus. You have what's that dude's name? Blood Diamond dude, Dazu.
Isn't it like Digimon or something like that?
Wow, that's worse than I was gonna do. Dazu Hom.
Oh, it really is like. I would pronounce that as Digimon Hunsu or Hansu or Hansu.
I think it's Dazu.
Okay.
This is sad what we're doing right now. Yeah, so as far as everything is concerned, like I think it moved pretty briskly. I wasn't offended by the length. It goes just a little bit over 2 hours. I was a little offended by the post credits they made me sit through. That sucked. Zachary Levi, excellent actor. Still, I mean, he's basically playing Chuck still. Like, it's been like 15 years. He's still playing Chuck, but I really enjoyed him. The girl who is the youngest god, I don't know her from other stuff, but she was pretty cool too. I liked her. Helen Mirren showing up.
Rachel Zegler.
Okay. Oh, and I also like, here's a weird one, everybody. And if somebody out there could explain this to me, I noticed this during the movie. All of the characters that play Shazam, like the collection of Shazam, they all like change actors when they go from non-superhero to superhero. There's one girl who doesn't. Did you notice this, Dante?
Oh yeah, the like older teen. What was her name? Mary, I think.
Yeah, and so I wonder if it's the girl who's in Fall. And really quickly, Fall. Did you see Fall?
No.
So Fall came out last year, I think it was. These two girls get trapped on the top of like the world's highest like antenna or some shit, and can't get down. They're pussies. They just can't get down. I'm kidding. Well, they have. You get it. They get stuck up there. It's another one of those movies like the opposite of this is the movie with Mandy Moore where they get trapped under the water for a really long time. It's the same deal. Either way, she, for whatever reason, when she goes from baby Shazam to adult Shazam, she doesn't change her outfit or change her appearance. Every other character does. And why is that? I don't know. I noticed it immediately. The very first time they changed, I was like, everybody else changes, but she doesn't. And I have to, the only thing I could equate it to is everybody else is under the age of 18 still, right?
Yeah. Well, no, wasn't Zachary Levi's character, didn't he like just turn 18?
No, he had 6 months because they were saying that in 6 months he was going to be 18. He wasn't going to get, the parents don't get foster support for him.
You're right. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember, does she change in the first movie? Like, does she become a different person in the first movie? Because that's the only thing I could think is when you turn 18, do you age out of changing? So if they were to keep doing these movies 7 years from now, does Billy Blumpkin stay Billy Blumpkin when he becomes Shazam?
Oh. I think that's a good working theory.
Are you finding answers?
I was trying to look it up. Nothing I can find quick. More reading than I'm capable of doing.
Well, yeah, no, it's for sure. It's more Googling than you'd be capable of doing, to be honest. But why did this movie fail? Why did it fail? Why is the Rotten Tomatoes score so bad? When is somebody going to explain to anybody out there? Because this isn't just me asking. I know we all kind of ask this question. Why, oh why, Rotten Tomato scores impact box office revenue, and audience scores being significantly higher don't affect it in a positive way. Isn't that weird? Like, why do we let old, stingy, fucking in the pocket of producers and companies tell me how good a movie is, and then I won't go see it? Like, not me personally, but somebody out there won't go see it. Well, a person who is just like you and me will tell you, no, it was a perfectly watchable movie. I enjoyed my Friday night at the movie theater. Yeah, it was a popcorn flick. Literally what you go to the movie for. It's a popcorn flick. That's what this is. But it's bad. It's bad because it doesn't move the world like Endgame does, right? Because it doesn't star every main actor. Like, because you don't give me an ensemble cast that's full of A-lists like they've done in Marvel for so long now, that this movie's bad. Is it because of preconceived notions that DC is already bad, like Dante said? I'm sure that plays some part in it. Like I said initially, I understand Black Adam failing led to a lot of the negativity probably being placed on this. The fact that we've already moved on, the fact that James Gunn has already moved on from this has probably impacted it. But I hate always seeing this where like the Rotten Tomato score does not match what you're getting from the actual audience goers. The fact that you could have watched the Oscars a week and a half ago or whatever it is now, a week ago, and you would have gotten 6 movies that people haven't fucking seen unless you're like a psychopath cinemaphile, because I don't think everybody sees those movies. Everywhere, Everything, All at Once, or whatever the fuck that movie. Yeah, people love it. I get it. And a lot of people did see that. I think 85 million in the box office. That's good for that type of movie. The other one, The Whale, I know a lot of people saw it in the lead up because it had the benefit of Brendan Fraser being like such a lovable guy, and he got a ton of really good press for making the comeback with this, right? But outside of that, I don't know that people really were out there seeing those movies, right? Checking the box office on me.
Yeah,
I think I think I heard 85 million today, but that could have been. I don't know if that was right or not.
I like to try and fact check you.
Did you happen to see anywhere on there how I believe the cinema score? I can get this really quick if you're busy. For Shazam was like 50% from Rotten Tomatoes, right? And it was another 80%, which isn't actually that high to be fair. So I guess like they didn't like it that much either. And me and you are genuinely in the minority, I guess, of like who likes this. Oh no, okay. So 53% from Rotten Tomato, 88% audience score. They aren't in the same demographic at all. They're not even close to each other. So I just need a little explanation as to where we can change the critical response to movies to find them to even up with the people that actually go and see these things. Like, what is it going to take to get there? Because I do think that impacts it. I think there are people who put more credence in a review than they do in what a real person says about it. I remember they used to hand out, and they probably still do this, but like I go to the movies every Thursday. We go to the movies every Thursday, basically, right, Dante?
At this point, yeah.
We are like the dedicated movie-going population still. Like they're going to have the people Friday, Saturday, and Sunday that are making them money, but we're going to be the ones who keep them in business, right? We have the membership. We show up there every single week despite whatever the movie is, right? I'm going to see Mario in a couple fucking weeks.
Yeah, but like, how much of that is attributed to the membership, right? Like, we're just going to go because it's not going to cost me any extra. Like, I pay X amount of money per month to be able to do this, right?
But even though you don't, I think a lot of people like myself do. Like, I don't spend the $20 for the ticket because tickets are now, I don't know if you've seen this, Dante. I looked at just regular movie ticket price the other day, $19.99 for one ticket.
But so then now that leads into my next question. How does that justify the cost of the membership? Because the membership is almost the cost of a movie ticket.
Because they can't guarantee that people will come in and like go, Bailey, you're all over this court. Because the movie membership, this is my point, right? Just because you don't pay money on that, the movie membership means that I go in there and I buy popcorn and a drink every time.
Yeah, you're right.
That's $20 that they make every single time I walk in there. Because the popcorn costs them less than $1 per person type deal. And the drinks don't cost them anything. Do you see the new drink machines at the movie theater we go to?
What was new about them? It's just
oh shit, not that one. The shitty movie theater near us. I'm saying that because it's not relevant machines? To like anybody else in the world. But there's new Coke remix machines out there, guys, and they are fire.
But what's different about them? It's still choose your own adventure.
Yes, but Dante, the whole screen is like it's not a real button. It's a touchscreen. Like everything on it is a touchscreen.
Oh, even to like dispense the drink?
Yes. Yeah, it's like pretty clean, dude. It's real nice. It's crazy how that was invented like 15 years ago, and it's still one of the best pieces of technology that's come out. Like, they could change everything in the world about TVs, about cameras, about cell phones. Every year they could tell me that my cell phone camera gets better and my screen got a little brighter. It'll never outdo the Coke Remix machine.
So get me some 4K Coke Remix machines, huh?
That's what they did. This thing has like 120 hertz refresh rate. I wanted to play my PS5 on it.
That's ridiculous, the things we get excited about.
But you're right. Like, it actually begs the question, why do people not have the membership? Like, any person who is thinking about going to a movie in March and didn't just buy the membership to be able to go see 4 other ones for free, 5 other ones for free. I mean, unless you just hate the movies. Like, I mean, that's not for you then. But if you're like a person who enjoys the movie and has movies and has any type of free time, the membership makes sense.
Well, I also feel like their ideal customer for that membership too, like the way it makes it profitable is like people like me that are going to pay that month to month. And there's like 2-3 month stretches where I won't even go.
Well, that's why the gym, that's why Planet Fitness is still in business, right?
Yeah.
Because I've given them $240 since the last time I went.
For the record, it's only $10 a month.
Yeah. And I
do the math.
For the record, I'm underselling how much I've given them since the last time I went. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's like, my point was going to be this, right? They used to do this thing when you would go to like screenings of movies, like, you know, when they would do like fan events where you could go early or something.
Yeah.
And they would hand out cards at the end of the movie, or maybe at the beginning of the movie, and they'd ask you to turn them in at the end of the movie. That was
like
just
your thoughts on the movie.
Yeah, it was just, and it wasn't even like write your thoughts. It was like a 1 out of 10 scale kind of thing, or it was like when you go to a therapist and they have the happy face.
I don't remember cards, but I do remember there's been a few times where I've gone to those and they have like staff standing out there with like iPads and stuff.
Yeah, but those guys are fucking creepers, dude. Like that's not the way to get me, dude. Like here's the problem.
Well, they give you some free merch, so I'm like, whatever. I got a few minutes.
The problem is I'm already out of that movie.
Yeah.
You know, like
in your mind, you're already on the way home.
Yeah, like you're impeding me going to take a piss because I haven't for 2 hours, or me getting in my car and getting the fuck out of the hood. Let me go. So if you gave me a little card at the beginning, or how about this, right? AMC, here's an idea for you. The same, like I talked about Letterboxd the last time I was on, right? Like last pod, we talked about Letterboxd. How about this, AMC? With each movie, have a fucking, like a survey. Like, it's just on my phone. Incentivize me to tell you if the movie's good. You can push that out. X amount percentage of our customers love this fucking movie.
Dude, the future is now. That's genius.
It's stupid that you don't have
because it's so simple and it would be so effective, yet nobody's done it.
Why? Like, dude, like, you already have it on our phones. Like, I buy all my tickets from you through my phone. And I know you do have, like, I think they have, like, you can do details. I don't know if on the app, can you do reviews? Maybe you can, but it's not promoted. And it's not click and accessible, because the difference is, right? Letterboxd, I talked about this. I don't go on there and write reviews. I go on there and I just do a star rating. I don't want to write a paragraph telling you how I feel about the movie. I want to talk for an hour and make you fucking listen to me, right? So I'm not on here for that. And yeah, I'm looking at it. There's nothing on here that says like what movies are what most watched. Like, why don't they share what made the most money for them this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, because Letterboxd could definitely put out those ratings if they have enough people using it.
Mm-hmm. Partner with them, right?
Damn.
Like, just like they it's not that difficult.
Also, and now I'm curious because you said does like the AMC app even have a rating system?
No, I just did. Like, I just checked. That's what I was just doing.
Does it?
No.
Well, I think it'd be funnier if it didn't. We didn't know because like.
No, like I'm looking. Like maybe you'll see it where I don't, but like. I can see all about Jesus' Revolution in the movie Champions. I can talk to you about Demon Slayer, Kitsuma no Yabe.
Damn. Okay. Yeah. Wow.
I butchered that.
Trying to get canceled again, huh?
Can't cancel funny. That's what they say.
That was a very go back to your country pronunciation.
Yeah, I just like. Am I wrong, everybody? Am I fucking wrong? I don't think I am. Like, stop letting fucking reviewers tell you, like, even me. Don't let me necessarily tell you, but I do think I'm a little bit, like, closer to the normal consumer, right? Like, I do commit 3 hours of my week every week to a movie theater, maybe more. I actually went twice last week, guys. We'll get into that. I saw a bad movie last week. I didn't even talk to you about this, did I?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's the other movie?
Yeah,
We'll get to that,
I didn't tell you about this.
Yeah.
I did see another movie last week. I saw it on the snow day.
Okay.
On Tuesday night when we didn't record because of the weather, I went to the movies. But I am like a person who dedicates time to the movie theater. I'm the one who could tell you whether or not to go. I just think that like the fucking snobby reporters like are actually looking for like some type of artistic value. And if you're into that, by all means, like there are certain types of movies that I think a Rotten Tomato score can probably justify. Like I do think movies that are Oscar movies, probably the Rotten Tomato score matters more. But like generally, unless you're like Avengers Endgame, I don't think that like Rotten Tomato scores are ever going to really tell you the whole story. So I would really like to see that kind of move on from being the way we kind of do. I'd rather that the audience score be the first number. I'll leave it there.
Yeah, I mean, Rotten Tomato score definitely always looks too critical.
It is, first of all. It's just a cumulative number of all the critics, so it would be very critical.
Okay, yeah. Well, you know, rewind.
It's just in a very literal sense. It's critical. I just would like us to see it not be so pivotal to like the performance of a movie, and it's been this way for like 10 years now, right? Like I feel like that's been the aggregate for a while now, has been Rotten Tomatoes, and for a long time, you know what I think it is because the first couple of years it was a thing. We didn't know that it wasn't just like us, you know. I feel like for a long time we thought like that was everybody's thoughts on the movie.
Yeah,
you know, like I think the first few years we thought. I was walking down the street, walking by people who were Rotten Tomatoes.
Let me tell you right now. You're talking about the first few years. This is everything up until like 10 seconds ago for me.
Jesus Christ. So yeah, like, but you've never wondered why there's an audience score and a Rotten Tomato score?
I always thought they were just different collections of data.
No, because if you look at like a Rotten Tomato score, it'll say out of X amount of reviews, and that's just basically the amount of critics, I believe, that they saw fit to include in their little fucking scale.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. So there's that. Again,
guys, I learned something today.
I put this out somewhere like where it was just like it was. I think the director. Can you look up like quotes maybe from like you probably won't find it that easily. I don't think. But so I think the director was just like, you know, does it suck that the movie didn't perform? Yeah. He's like, I got paid up front, so I'll live. I'll be okay. Zachary Levi was like, you know, like, are we gonna get a second? Like everybody's just assuming we're not because James Gunn is moving the story on. But it really comes down to if people go and see the movie or not. And I think people should go see this movie. I think it is a good movie. I'll ask you this, Dante, before we move on. Do you think this movie is hampered by not having a home release? Do you think this movie would have got better word of mouth by having a home release?
What do you mean by home release? Oh, like
put it on HBO Max.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like put it on HBO Max with it. You know, like because I mean that's such a mixed bag too. I do think way more people. Because then,
how does that stuff affect box office numbers? Because that's still only gonna go to like who goes to the theater to watch it, right? Like,
yeah, but like, okay, if everything needs box offices to make money, it's like,
it's just that's been how they measure the success of them, right? Like, so like if we mix in like how much revenue they're getting from streaming and like maybe get us a new reading that gives us an amalgamation of like streaming and box office performance, then yeah, I think that would have helped. But if we're just looking at box office numbers and ranking it that way, then obviously no, like that would have took away from it.
I think what you would have to do is you would have to rework the contracts that actors are, just like thinking about it right now, because like the whole beef was like Scarlett Johansson not getting paid because they put Black Widow out on Disney Plus pretty early, right?
Yeah.
And maybe if you did do the thing where you put it behind a paywall pretty soon after it comes out, it would do successfully at home. I suppose
it's kind of like the stuff like Disney Plus did early on, where like they'll release it and you just pay to basically watch it at home on the streaming service. If you
reworked it, and it's like Warner Brothers owns DC. Warner Brothers is partnered with HBO Max, right? I also saw a weird thing that like HBO Max is wondering if by calling it HBO Max they've hurt the growth of the network.
How?
When you think about it, like does that imply that they only have HBO stuff, you know?
I
Because it's a
guess.
lot broader than that. And that's where I wonder if they're accurate in some ways, where it's like, it's not really. Why'd they go with HBO Max? Because why didn't they do Warner Brothers Max? Right? Because that's a lot broader of a net to me than HBO. Like, did you have HBO at all times growing up?
So at some points, not always, but at some points.
Me too. It was like one of those things where if it was at the right price in the package that we had from Xfinity or whatever,
Yeah,
like
because you know how they do the
it.
contract and they'll throw in HBO, Stars, Showtime,
Yeah.
and all that.
So
crap.
I had it at different times, but to me, there's like a set at that time. This was 10 years ago, whatever, 15 years ago, but there was like, say, 100 different movies that you could stream on HBO on demand, and then there was just live TV. There's nothing more than that. But HBO Max is that. Has all their original content, but you also have Comedy Central. You have you had the DC stuff all getting loaded on there, like all their TV shows. Like there is a lot more than just HBO on there. And by calling it HBO Max, I get what they were implying, but I do think it is a interesting thought. Like, did that make a difference in how successful they've been?
I mean, I know for me, I mean, just thinking back to like, I feel like most people have cut the cord at this point, but if you're thinking back to like cable, like I feel like HBO was pretty well known for being a place to go to see like movies, or like, you know, they had like what was that series that they had on there back when cable was popping out? Entourage, right? Was that an HBO show?
Entourage, huh? You know who had an entourage, Dante?
Who?
The girl from Scream. She took them all to New York with them.
Okay.
So from some housekeeping, I was like, I don't know how we're gonna get the Scream from that.
I love the transition.
Yeah, so we're just gonna move on. Go see Shazam and let me know what you think. And also, like, what do you think of Rotten Tomatoes? What do you think of the idea I had about integrating that in? Would you, if you are going to the movies out there, would you like that? I think it'd be kind of a cool idea to be able to give my actual thoughts back to other people who go to the movies like myself to say, hey, this was good. Go see it. Give it a shot. Let's keep this fucking business, this movie theater industry, online. Let's do more for the movie theater industry than fucking memes have at this point.
Because does that get more money
up,
back into the movie theater industry?
I think it will, right? I think who should you trust? Somebody you've never seen before, or the guy who sits next to you in the movie every week, or every month, or wherever the fuck you go, right? But moving on to Scream. Scream 6. That was 2 weeks ago. Kind of bummed we didn't get to come in here last week and talk about it because as I've said, this is probably my most anticipated movie of the month, a month full of a lot of really cool movies coming out. I personally really, really enjoyed this one too. Again, I think Scream, there's got to be discussion had for not only the best horror franchise, but I think there needs to be a discussion had about where Scream ranks in franchises as a whole. Because I'm sorry to you Star Wars fans out there, but they're hitting it like 20%, right? Like, I'm sorry to the Lord of the Rings people, but they're hitting it about 50%, right? I can keep going. I think Scream is 5 out of 6 at this point, and I even heard somebody recently be like, Scream 3 isn't as bad as everybody says it is. And I'm like, maybe I need to rewatch it and consider something. I might be convinced it's 6 out of 6. So when are we going to give it its due? And I think it actually, I'm saying, when are we going to give it its due? We might have its due now because, Dante, the box office was insane. And do we have rankings? Did you, in the process of looking this up, was there anywhere that had estimated rankings for the weekend?
I don't know what kind of ranking you'd be looking for, so I don't even know how.
Well, like coming out of this week's box office, I just would be interested where Shazam bombed. I have to imagine Scream might have kept up.
Oh, for this past week.
Yeah, like I wonder if Scream is going to finish this weekend as number 1 at the box office. Because if it does, that's huge. I mean, this is the biggest box office for Scream. I think it started at 65 mil, did we say? Or no, 58 mil, I think is what it ended at week 1.
Week 1, okay, yeah, that makes sense because opening weekend was 44 mil.
Domestic,
yeah.
Okay, so I thought it was 58 mil. So 44 mil, right? Does it say what week 2 anywhere? Or does it say worldwide?
I can do all world. So I have total worldwide is 116 mil. I don't know what opening weekend was.
It's a success.
Giving me that.
It's a success. March has been a great month for the movie theater. I mean, Creed's still performing well. Scream did well. It's too bad Shazam's struggling. But Scream, I think the environment change helped a lot. I think it made this movie feel fresh. I think the fact that you got rid of the secondary storyline of Stab made the movie feel fresh. I just think they did a lot to reinvent this movie, but also a lot to stay very true to what makes them successful. And that is playing through the rules of horror. And not only now the rules of horror, but now you're into the rule of franchises and all of that stuff. And I think that they did a pretty darn good job of that. Dante, you've only seen 5.
Well, 5 and 6.
Yeah, I was gonna say, until now, you've seen 6. Okay, and interestingly enough, in a way, that's not a bad thing for you, right? Because, excuse me, the subway is kicking my ass right now. You have this like very like condensed view of this franchise, but it's very cohesive, right? Because this movie is a direct sequel to 5. And I do think that if you don't need to have seen the first 4 for this movie to have an abundant amount of sense to it.
Well, I feel like they catch you up a good amount in the 5th one.
Yeah, because they bring back the legacy characters more in that.
Yeah, but they explain it too, so it didn't make me feel left out for not having seen the other ones.
Yeah. And so with this one, where do you between 5 and 6, which one did you enjoy more? And it's okay if you're a prisoner of the moment. I know, like, we just...
Yeah, like, I really want to say 6, but that's also because it's the one that's freshest in my mind. I will say one thing I did like about it was, you know, how they kind of switched up the rules and they screwed you right in the beginning, you know?
I was going to try not to...
We can cut that.
It's yeah, I mean, and Scream has always done this, right? The first 15 minutes of the movie are like meant to be kind of a pace setter for what you're getting, right? And I do think by the way that they really flip the entire narrative on the head within the first 15 minutes of the movie, it makes it that much more interesting. I do think they dropped the ball a little bit at that intro too, because I understand what you're saying. I do think that there was like I'm trying to be very careful because I don't want to overly spoil anything.
But are you trying
either.
to say like it was a letdown?
The beginning part, just strictly the beginning, because it was like, holy shit, they just did that?
Yeah, no, so I get that.
And then it's like, they could have kept exploring that idea to me.
I get where you're going with that, yeah, no, because I
feel
like they explained it too quickly. They didn't leave me in enough suspense.
Really quick, because I'd want to have the discussion. 3, 2, 1, spoiler. Also, everybody out there, I have not been putting time codes in this movie, in these episodes. I'm a dickhead. I'm going to put them in. I won't spoil this for you if you don't want it to be spoiled. The beginning of this movie. Again, 3, 2, 1, spoiler. Fast forward if you don't want to hear this. The beginning of this movie, they do the normal trope where girls in the bar receives a phone call. Hey, where are you? You're not at dinner yet. Like, oh, I'm trying to get there. I'm just a little lost. And like lures her outside, and eventually it switches over to the Ghostface voice, the digitizer voice, and it's like, you know, doesn't do the favorite scary movie thing, but basically baits her into a alley dead. That's not the like revolutionary part. The revolutionary part is what happens right at that point. He kills her, and normally you get the header, the title, right? And it goes Scream, whatever, and you drop into the real storyline, or you drop into Stab, or whatever it is. And this, they just take their mask off, and you're like, are they just gonna show me the fucking killer right now? And they do, like they give you the killer. And what I mean by like they just miss something. I thought that was so interesting to do the whole movie, and instead of it being a whodunit, which is one of the things I've always enjoyed about the Scream movies, is like trying to figure out who the killer is, right? Like they're trying to figure out the killer while you are, and it's somebody. It's always somebody within the group, but you can never exactly know exactly who it is. I do think 5 telegraphed it a little bit, in retrospect, because it's just like the boyfriend thing is kind of, you know, but they move off that story really quickly because that person's killed. So the person who is trying to be Ghostface reveals himself as Ghostface and then immediately gets killed by a different Ghostface. So you're right back to original story. Who is it? Who done it? And the idea of doing a movie in a movie franchise that kind of flips the narrative so often and knows how to play with their audience, I just thought that would have been I was like, wow, they're going to do this? Like, that was a big change for me. And they could still do it. And I think it would still be interesting, right? Like, what if somebody got away one time, and they got to carry over to another movie? I don't know. There's ways you could do it, I suppose, but they kind of missed that. I thought that would have been a cool little detail to add in, but they didn't do that, and it's fine because I do think the rest of the movie, this is the most brutal. Do you think this was more brutal than 5 from a kill perspective?
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if that's because there's a need to up the violence with like modern times. Is that like a thing where it's
But I mean, you say with modern times, 5 was only what, a year ago? Like,
yeah, but I just what I mean is like, are we in a world? It's what I just said about the superhero movies thing, right? Like every movie needs to be top billed actors in Endgame. No. It's like, are we in a world where we each time have to go gorier and gorier, brutaler kills, things like that, to get people to go see them? And I don't think this movie...
I don't even think this was necessarily gory, you know what I mean?
No, but like he definitely... I just
think it was like they were going for more shock value with the kills, I guess.
I do think like there was some, like he was a little more like vicious with the way that they were like stabbing people, and like even I think the way they sold the trailer, like he's never used a gun before. He uses a gun. He shoots people.
So that was a big one, and I guess that was kind of like a sneak peek that they weren't going to play by the same rules on this one. But also, I feel like that's one of the things that, from what I've talked to from people that have seen the whole franchise, they like about it is, there are set rules that kind of help you figure out the frame of the whole, like, how you guide the mystery, and it's the love interest, and the don't answer the phone, and this and that,
mm-hmm.
And they kind of played away from those rules a little bit, but still kept them, and so it was kind of fun to watch them play with it.
Well, it's like every time they come out now, they find a new way to like kind of work with the story. And yeah, now it's like, well, in a franchise, anything can happen. No characters are off limits because we've already gone through a whole set of characters. In this franchise, we've worked through almost every main character possible. There's only one that shows up back in this movie from the originals, right?
Gale, right?
Yeah, Gale, Courtney Cox. There's 2 that have come from anything before the last movie because you brought back Hayden Panettiere, who was only in 4, and she's an interesting part of this movie. I do want to comment on one thing I thought was a little... It took me out of the movie slightly, and that was the lack of Neve Campbell and the references that they gave to Neve Campbell. They brought her up probably 3 times, and it was like a way to explain why she wouldn't show up. But I don't even think you had to bring her up to really explain why. It's like the one time that Gale brings her up, I was going to be okay with it. It's like, yeah, Sydney didn't come because Sydney's like, I've almost been killed by these motherfuckers 5 times. I have a family now. You're in New York. I don't care about that place. Like, I'm Woodsboro till I die. Like, like I get that. She doesn't need to come back for it. But they brought her up a couple times, and it's almost like she's sending her goodwill or something. It's like, no, fuck you guys, because the reason she's not in the movie isn't because you wrote a better story without her. It's because you tried to get her. She didn't want to accept less money to do the movie, and then she opted not to. So it's like a retelling of why she's not in it, right?
Yeah. Because
this is like Neve Campbell is a G when it comes to making the tough decision. Like, she's one of the Weinstein people. I'm pretty sure like one of I forget what movie it was, but she was one of the first people to say no to Weinstein and have it like negatively impact her career in some way. Yeah. Yeah. So I just thought that was a little like you could have just left it. Like, we were fine. Neve Campbell is this movie. If you want to make movies without her, that's fine. But like, just leave her behind. The story has kind of moved on with Jenny Ortega, and I believe the other girl's Melissa, but I want to keep saying Melissa McBride, and that's not the character. Melissa McBride, I think, is the mom in Teen Wolf.
Jesus Christ. I'll get your name. Give me a
thank
sec.
you. Do you want to also check if I'm right on Melissa McBride?
Now you're asking a lot. Melissa Barrera.
Okay. Yeah, so she was in this movie that's on Netflix where she's in a plane ride and it crashes in the wilderness and she has to live for a certain amount of days. I got like through 3 episodes in, it was like, oh, this is okay, and then it just got kind of corny at some point in there. It reminded me of the Gary Paulson book, The Hatchet, that I read as a small child. The Scholastic Book Fair. Do you remember this, Dante?
Yeah, I do.
That's I bought like 3 books from the Scholastic Book Fair, and it was Hatchet 1, Hatchet 2, and Hatchet 3.
I want to say I was one of like the Captain Underpants kids.
Oh yeah, I think everybody else was. For whatever reason, like that didn't do it for me. I was like I don't need big letters or whatever. Like
and then I'm probably messing this up, but I think the other one was Junie B. Jones. I think it was like a series that they had.
Junie B. Jones.
Junie B. Jones. Am I right on that? I don't even
What's
know why
about?
I'm bringing it up. I can't remember anything about it. But
Oh, you don't know what it's about?
Mind. Yeah. Yeah, it was Junie B. Jones.
So I have The Hatchet as an Audible like audio book too. I've like listened to it somewhat recently, not like all the way through because I'm like so in and out on books, like audiobooks for whatever reason. Audiobooks are great if you can go like if you have places to go that aren't driving. I mean, even
so like if you're like commuting where you have like an hour-long commute.
I loved Audible when I used to have to take a train for work.
Okay.
Like I would listen to it the whole train ride in, and it was great. But driving, like, it kind of makes you tired. It's like, it's hard. Pause. Did Melissa McBride? Can you just fill me in if I got that right?
What were you saying? Teen Wolf?
Yeah. No, Walking Dead. Shit. Shit.
And apparently Robot Chicken.
Interesting. Good for her. Getting a little animated check too. So yeah, Scream, another one. Definitely go out of your way. If you are into the horror franchise, watch it. I'm sure it's going to be on Paramount Plus relatively soon. I don't feel like they'll keep that in the movie theaters for like an extended time, but I suppose it all comes down to how successful it's going to do. And so far, so good. I think it'll probably come out of the weekend number 1. Well, it's tough because if it did 50 mil week 1, you're competing with 30 mil. We said from Shazam.
Yeah.
Do we think it would only take a 20 mil drop?
What are you talking about?
Like Scream, do you think it would only lose 20 mil week over week? I feel like it's probably going to drop.
So you still think it's going to do...
I think you're seeing a 40% drop in box office performance. So what's 40% of 50 million?
That would be
28
20 million.
No. That'd be
40% of 50 is 20.
So that bring it down to 30 million at the box office.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Got your mouth flip-flopped there.
No, mine was right. Yours wrong.
Huh?
Another question I had, though, is do you have any insight as to why they would have released this in March and not closer to October?
The last one released in the fall. Not in the fall, in February, I think.
Oh,
or
yeah,
January.
actually, it was January.
The last one released in January, yeah. So I think what they've learned is you don't have to release it. Halloween, you're releasing up against a lot of other horror movies, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if you release at this time of the year, you don't have competition for your demographic of movie. So there's a higher probability of people going out of their way to see you,
Because for me, I guess one of the weirder things with the movie is, like, they're telling you it's Halloween in the movie, and I'm just like, we're so far away from that.
Yeah, but I think Scream up until this point hasn't really played off of any Halloween tropes. And I think to your point, that makes it one of the more interesting aspects of this movie because it is Halloween, it is New York, right?
Yeah.
So it's not weird that you see all these different people in Scream masks because the good thing with what Stab has done is it's established that is a character that is known across the entire country because of how successful those Stab movies were within the world of Scream. So you're able to just have like this bigger presence, and it's harder to, and like the train scene that they show in the trailer is obviously in the movie, and it's a very, like, I think that's a great set piece for the movie. I think it's a really interesting, cool thing, like the lights flickering on and off on the train, because we've all been on underground in one of those tunnels when the train's like either the power's in and out on it. It's just like we've all had those shitty train experiences, right?
I mean, you ever rode a train, you had a shitty train experience.
Yeah. Facts. We're going to get a 7th. I will be there.
Yeah.
100% will be there. And I'm so happy because 6 months ago, I had to watch Halloween Ends, and I almost ended my life because it was that bad.
Damn.
Because they just tarnished again for like the 15th time a franchise in horror that I love. This movie, just these ones keep getting it right, and they've got my money for the rest of time, basically.
Honestly, Scream 5 was what actually brought me into the slasher genre.
The best genre outside of 90s action and cinema.
I wasn't about it for the longest time. Then I watched Scream 5 and I was like, damn, I actually kind of enjoyed that. That was cool.
I think that the jumps, even the jump kills in Scream 5, you know, the one where...
I don't think Scream 5 had any jump scares.
They did. I'll tell you what one. There's one that was like, oh shit, they did that. And it's when the sheriff is going home to save her son's life.
And he's at the door, right?
And it's broad daylight, and he fucking kills her in the middle of the day, like right in front of the house.
Okay, yeah.
You know? And there's one of those in this, I believe, too. Like something like that. I'm trying to remember. I believe there was. That I was like, oh, that's kind of like that last movie.
Yeah, I think there were a couple jumps they had in this one.
Would you like to move on to the other movie I saw?
I'm afraid.
I mean, I've told you. I think I had mentioned I wanted to see this on here. I went and saw 65.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you did say that. How was that?
So, do you think I'm a harsh critic on movies?
No, not at all.
Right.
I mean, you constantly say the line, this movie knows what it is, so you kind of watch it through the lens of, as long as they stick to what their intended goal was with the movie, you allow it to be ranked upon that.
I appreciate you for saying that, because there's a narrative painted that I am like super critical, negative, and like in some senses in my life, I am overly critical of things. I'd like to be the opposite side of the coin, right? Like I don't like to go with the flow. I understand all of those things. When it comes to movies, though, I think I generally play it pretty down the middle, and I try to be as lenient as possible on things. I did not enjoy this movie, like at all. I just didn't like it. It wasn't good. It's predictable. The actions, nothing. It's so just so people who don't know, it's Adam Driver. He is on like a different planet type deal, and like he's got to take a job that brings him across the universe, transmitting people who are in like a cryogenic sleep. It's going to take him away from his family for a couple of years while he does this trek across space to drop them off. In the process of making this trek, he gets hit by like an asteroid field, and it knocks them out of orbit. They crash. Almost everybody on his flight are dead. That's all like trailer stuff, so I don't think I spoiled anything by that. Nor does it like affect anything, because you don't need to see that for the fucking movie to... I'll tell you what made me see this movie was Adam Driver, dinosaurs. I was like, Adam Driver's okay, but dinosaurs, they're fucking lit. And I'm going to go see this. I said that to myself, and I went, and I was like, okay, an hour and a half, that's not an offensive length for a movie. I went at 9 p.m. It's a snowy night. Nothing's really going on. Pop into the movies. That thing couldn't hold my attention. Dante, I left before it ended.
Holy shit, I can't remember the last time I did that.
And it wasn't like I didn't offensively leave before it ended. It just got to a point at the end of the movie where I said to myself, this, and this is going to happen. And I started seeing all of those things play out that I knew were going to happen. And I eventually just got up and was like, why do I need to see this?
But it has to be a really bad movie to be predictable and you still don't want to see it through. Because there's been a lot of movies that I've watched where I'm like, I could see where this is leading, but I kind of want to see what play they take on it.
Like, visually, it looks fine. I don't, like... But at the same time, it's, like, super not, like, interesting. Like you just showed something on IMDb, on the front page of, like, IMDb. It was playing the trailer, right? Click back to that. What did you catch box office numbers? It bombed very badly.
That's what I was actually just
atrociously bad. It did very bad. I think it did 8 mil opening weekend.
Holy shit.
Am I right? Like 12 mil, I think is what I see there, probably, like domestic.
I think that was total, though.
Yeah, and I'm one of them. I'm fucking one of them.
Oh, you're a whole million?
Yeah, it might as well be, dude. It was me. I was surprised at the collection of people that were in that movie theater too, and at least one other person got up about 40 minutes into the movie.
Okay, domestic opening weekend was 12.
Yeah,
total is 22.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's rough.
Did you go back to the trailer at the on the IMDb page real quick? Because it was just playing a scene, and I wanted you to just like look at the visual. So like there. So like let it just play.
Okay.
And so it's him crashing on a ship. Oh my god, I know why it's bad. Did you see that? Did you see that? Guys,
the weird helmet?
No. Start the trailer over again.
Okay.
Start the trailer over again. Tell the people who made that movie.
Was it Columbia Pictures?
No.
Sony?
No, wait for it. Wait, what does it say?
Who the hell is Bron?
Bron. Who is
LeBron
Bron?
James?
LeBron James.
No, seriously?
Yes.
Wait, what?
That is LeBron's. The same people who brought you Space Jam 2 brought you this shit-ass movie. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Was that an interesting look? Is that interesting scenes? It's... the fuck? And it comes from the mind of Sam Raimi. They just told me this is a catastrophe.
Oh,
but I wouldn't have seen this if I didn't know. I wouldn't have put $1 in LeBron James's pocketbook. Humans discovered Earth.
Oh my god.
This March, Adam Driver has this fancy little kaleidoscope looking thing, and he'll find a ship somewhere and play with dinosaurs.
Honestly, if you narrated the trailer like this, I probably would have went to see it.
This shit's lit.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, this is a pretty cool parody.
Maybe I'm going to start narrating movie trailers.
We could do a segment.
But like, look at this. It's just all fucking trees in bushes, dude. Like, that's a different planet? No, that's fucking Montana, dude. Like, what are we watching? This thing was terrible, man. It was so fucking bad. You know what the coolest thing in this movie was? They have these. You remember the thing when you were a little kid? It would have the like 7 different slides on it, and you would put it up to your eye, and you would click the thing, and it would move through the slides, and you could see like images, right? So he leaves when his daughter's like a younger girl, and he gets videos from her along the way, that basically get to act as real life images of her. You know, so he has this little like slide box that he puts it into, and when he puts it into the slide box, it plays on a projector, and it's a moving image.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. I was like, well, that feels like something that's attainable to the future for me, right?
Yeah.
In a way, like it's like an NFT or some shit. I don't know. Are those still a thing?
Yeah.
Are they?
I feel like not too long ago I saw Tory Lanez get really excited about trying to like.
Was it Meg? What is it? One of him shooting Meg?
We're not going there. Let's just move
on.
Oh,
I forgot you're a Tory stan. You like that R&B album he came out with? What one was that?
You talking about the Chicks Tape series?
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. We're not going there.
We got a Tory stan on the pod, guys.
No, I'm not a. We're not. Just stop.
Team Tory.
Just stop.
Free Tory.
Yo, for real though, free Tory. But we're stopping there. All right.
LeBron James made this fucking movie, dude.
Why am I still playing this?
What the fuck? What the fuck, dude? In like weird parallel to be like, I made Space Jam and then I needed to make a movie about space dinosaurs. What is the Sam Raimi thing? Does it say he directed this?
Producer.
God, what is this guy doing? The same guy who brought you like original good superhero movies, like, is making this trash, dude. The same guy who, like, as far as a director and like an eye for film, like the Evil Dead movies, whatever, like, I don't know, it just seems like ugh. Get LeBron James out of my life. All right, really quickly, before we move on, I do want to quickly rank for you how I feel about March movies so far. So in order, as follows, it goes. At the bottom, number 4, obviously. A far fourth, like the distant fourth. The other 3 are good. The other 3, it's kind of a hard decision. It starts at 65, down here. Like below.
So it ranks 65th, and there's not even 65 movies coming out this month.
Yeah. It's like, this shouldn't have come out in March. This is like a February movie, a January movie to a T. Like, get this the fuck out of here. Don't watch it. I'm telling you, don't watch it. Save your money.
DVD.
Don't even. It should have got burned. 3, Creed 3, appropriate. 2, Shazam. Number 1, Scream. Okay. I think John Wick will beat it.
Okay.
Do you agree? Do you agree with my ranking?
Now, I need to understand your ranking. Are you just talking about in terms of like how much you enjoyed them?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't give a fuck about what you guys thought. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I do. Keep watching.
Please. I still need to watch Creed 3. But I feel like after watching the first 2, I recently caught up on those. Maybe I'm just on a high for like, catching up with the first 2, but I think I'd be pretty excited for Creed 3. But I definitely then follow with Scream and then Shazam. And I didn't watch 65, and I'm not going.
Well, I mean, you ranked Creed number 1 when you didn't see it, so I think you can just stand pat with me and say 65's dead last.
Yeah, well, yeah. And then you said John Wick's gonna drop into number 1 when we watch it.
Yeah, facts. That's the truth. That is the truth. That's number 1.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I need you to look something up for me.
All right, what are we looking at?
Movies that LeBron James's production company has made. I'm really hung up on this one. There's times you just stumble across shit, and this is mind-blowing.
Bron Studios. Oh, God.
What a fucking asshole name that is.
Oh. All right, IMDb, what do you got for it?
He made the movie X?
No, hold on. What?
I mean, just like, I guess it doesn't mean he made them necessarily. It could just mean that he bought the
rights to them.
Yeah, like he's the distributor of it, because is it saying like those are his movies?
I guess IMDb just came up and showed this is everything that's affiliated with Bron Studios. So it says with Bron Studios.
Well, just looking at that, like if you so I've never saw 10 or X, but that's a Jenny Ortega horror movie, I think.
Wait, I kind of hold on. 2019 Joker.
Yeah, well, I was gonna get to that.
I'm sorry to jump there.
Yeah, X, I want to see it. Joker, I hate, not good. Sue me, fucking sue me. I wanted to get that out there. I didn't like that fucking movie. I think it's bad. You probably think I'm wrong. I know. And I also said I'm not harsh on movies, so put that in the fucking air.
Don't take away the credit I just gave you, please.
No, my point is I'm not harsh on movies. That movie sucks, dude. That fucking movie blows, dude.
Yeah, but like now I'm hearing you be really harsh on the second movie in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, but that movie is oh my God, that movie is for people who want to fucking kill themselves at the end of it. It's just Jesus. It's the epitome of everybody's a terrible person in that movie. There's no redeemable people. There's nobody good. I don't even give a shit that he turns into a psychopath because he's a bad person and they're all bad people. It's just it's not a real fucking thing, dude. I don't know. It wasn't a palatable movie for me. I left feeling very negative from it. Did you see it?
No, I never watched it.
Good. Don't.
Okay.
Anything else? We got any more? I don't believe that all these movies are associated with LeBron James.
Yeah, no.
But if we want to just make a collective,
IMDb lying to me?
Maybe go to another source. I don't know. Try a wiki. Try wiki.
Wiki.
At the beginning of the pod, I was gonna say I'm the Prince of Egypt. I want to throw that out there. It's still open on my phone. No. Bron Studios.
Bron Creative. See, I just don't know what to believe.
All right, brother. I've got it. We're good. Don't worry. I'm here.
Okay.
This is crazy. So they said that he did produce the Joker. His studio produced the Joker.
Actually.
Yeah. That's crazy to me. Because this list pretty much matches up with what you had in front of you.
The other 2019 movie, Child's Play, that was Bron Studios?
Yeah, that was actually not that bad, if I'm being honest. House of Gucci, didn't see it. I think it bombed. Did it? Did it?
Let's see.
Those Who Wish Me Dead, I didn't enjoy that movie, but I know people who did. Do you know what the one that one is? Angelina Jolie, fights forest fires or something like a year ago. Ghostbusters Afterlife, cool, it was good. Candyman, that makes sense that he made that. It was fine. Bombshell, didn't see it. Licorice Pizza, didn't see it. The Good Liar, didn't see it. The Way Back, it was good. I would have just thought that Ben Affleck made that without LeBron. Hansel and Gretel, that movie's or Gretel and Hansel, that movie's fucking bad. This can't be all him, right?
No, and that's where now you're seeing what I'm seeing. Where I was looking at the list and I was like, this just doesn't make sense,
dude. Like somebody reach out to us and let me
know. Bro, hold on.
If I've just been seeing LeBron.
Hold on, because now I'm seeing the to be announced area. What the hell is he doing touching Legally Blonde 3?
or RoboCop Returns.
Oh, I was getting to that.
What is this?
Yo, bro, what are you doing?
Oh my God, LeBron, get the fuck out! This man's fingerprints are all over so many movies.
Oh my God, he is literally just throwing shit at wrong and seeing what sticks.
I've just done a whole long bit on LeBron James. This isn't LeBron James, I don't think.
Well, you lied to me.
I lied to myself. This takes away a whole bunch of joy I got from this.
Yeah.
And negativity. Can I give you the backstory that I just learned?
You know what's funny? Just really quick before you get into that. I started by looking this up on the wiki page, and if I just read the first line.
I know. You're the one who's supposed to have caught that for me. I'm going to eat it because I went on and just assumed that
Bro, I trusted you.
Yeah, no, I mean, you see Bron and you would just assume LeBron James, wouldn't you? Why would you name your production company Bron?
I don't know.
But do you see why? Okay, so just so everybody else out there is informed so we don't make this mistake again. Married couple Brenda Gilbert and Aaron L. Gilbert founded Bron. And the way they came out with Bron is they took the first two letters of her name and the last two letters of his first name. It made Bron. That's a terrible reason. I'm still mad. So we can just, all the jokes that I've made for 20 minutes now.
Yeah.
They still apply.
Yeah.
They still apply. I don't like these people either.
Yeah.
That's upsetting, isn't it? That's actually more upsetting than LeBron James making them.
Yeah.
Why'd they do that for their Brenda and Aaron and we made Bron?
Bro. Both of your last names are Gilbert. Just make it Gilbert
Can
Studios. I would have been happier.
Do you think I could look at this for 3 minutes and try to figure out a better way of combining their names?
Arenda?
No.
No? All right, I started.
I don't think so. Braren?
Okay, yeah, no.
Bilgert?
No. Bilgert? Don't do
Bilbert?
Both of the last names are Gilbert. Just make it Gilbert Studios and be done with it.
Yeah. Why'd they think... Dude, do you think they intentionally tried to... LeBron should sue them.
I think so.
LeBron should sue them for sullying his somewhat okay name with this fucking travesty of a movie, 65. You let that shit come out? I knew that he wouldn't have made that fucking Joker movie, though. That's too high art for fucking LeBron James. I know he lets his 7-year-old drink wine and that makes him seem smart. No.
Oh, God.
His company's just called the Spring Hill Company?
That's what it looks like, yeah.
Is that that's his production company?
Spring Hill is the combination of 3 businesses launched by James and Carter, his longtime business partner.
Huh. What's your favorite Bron movie out there? Let us know. It's probably the Joker, if I had to guess. Maybe it's Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Now that I know it's not LeBron James, I think I'm probably pretty excited for Legally Blonde 3.
Which one's better, Legally Blonde or Legally Blonder?
Oh, they should have went Legally Blondist. But is that too final?
Yeah, you got to leave it open. Well, it's like when they did Dumb and Dumber, and then they found a way to just be like Dumb and Dumber. Was the way that they made that sequel. There's not really a way. Dumb and Dumbest could have worked, but no. No, thank you.
God.
Okay. That's almost what we've got for this week. Do you want to spend any time? I don't want to spend too much here. Last of Us, how'd you feel about the finale?
Honestly, man, I don't think it was as rushed as I expected it to be. It definitely left me wanting more though.
I thought it was rushed. I was bummed out by the finale, personally.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I didn't expect them to give me like the entirety of what you get in the end of the game, but I thought the hospital scene would be more intense. Like
I definitely thought so too. I mean, they made it too much like, oh, he's immortal, he's making it out of this, like.
But it's not even that. Like there was no struggle. I get.
Yeah.
Like, I agree. Like there was no struggle. But like you didn't even see anything. It was like that stop motion. Like not stop motion, but it would be like he walks into a room. It's like he's gonna shoot somebody, then they're dead. You know.
Well, because like the way they shot it was more about his facial expression than the actual action, and it's like,
yeah,
we all knew that was there. So like, give me some more of the action, I guess.
Because honestly, you get more. And again, time codes. I apologize. I apologize. Time codes.
Oh crap! If y'all want to rewind 3, 2, 1, 10 minutes ago, spoiler.
Well, I already told you the time codes, though, right? So.
Just gonna put a big one in red. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, like you already get it after he gets her in the hospital. Like you already have like the moment where you understand all of it, right? Like with the Marlene stuff, like the before he goes and gets her, and then after with Marlene. I think both those things bookend his why.
Yeah.
So the facial expressions weren't necessarily needed for me. Like I just think that the show there. How many standout really great action moments were there in this season? That's a question.
When was it when they crashed the car into like the laundromat? I thought that was a pretty good action moment.
Yep.
The bloater at the end of what was that, episode 4, 5?
5. It feels like 5 to me.
Yeah.
So is it 5 or 6? Because so it goes 4 is the one you're talking about where he crashes into the
Is that 4?
Yeah, because 3 is
yeah, right.
They get the
right.
car at the end of 3, they crash at the beginning of 4. So then does he doesn't meet the kid till the end of it's probably the end of 5.
I think it's 5, yeah.
Yeah. So I also would add in the museum and the beginning of episode 2. Where they first see the clickers for the first time, right?
Okay,
like
yeah.
Like that was kind of an action sequence. You had episode 8 with Ellie.
Actually, shit. How did I forget about that? Yeah.
Yeah. But my point is, like, realistically, there's only, like, throughout the show, like, 9 episodes of this show, there's only, like, 5 really, like, substantial action set pieces to me, right? Would you say that's accurate?
I mean, yeah, that is accurate, but I think they even said, like, they were trying to frame it as more of a drama, and that's why you don't get that much of the infected here.
That's
and, like,
fine. That is fine. But it's been a drama.
Yeah.
You've been a drama. For 8 fucking episodes. You've been a drama. It's time to be an action show. Like, that is your time to be an action show. And I gave you excuses up to this point of not wanting to overinvest in the budget side of things, right? Like, it's expensive to do a bunch of CGI zombies. It's expensive to have a huge cast of zombies that are real people. And it's complicated to be able to get all of them coordinated and acting the way you need them to. So I'm okay with the fact that we don't get an overabundance of infected in the show. That didn't bother me. That's why I understood, and I think I said in the episode leading up to this on the pod, that I didn't anticipate them to use a lot of dense zombie parts of the last section of that game. That's fine. But you have an entire hospital of regular people. You have an entire hospital where he could have worked his way through. And I feel like we just got more Easter eggy shit than we did anything else. Because reality is, like, they did the little drop the ladder down. Ellie drops the ladder down. That's like video game Easter egg. You got the part in the end of the game where he goes from using a single fire rifle to finding the machine, like the assault rifle. Like, that's a part of the game. That happens in the game. Yeah. In that last part there. So they did all these little Easter eggs, but you didn't give me any of the fucking action that the game gives me at the end. Like, I should have felt the struggle that he had to get up to that room. And it didn't feel like a struggle.
There was no struggle.
Yeah, it didn't feel like a struggle. Not a single one of those soldiers barely did shit. He didn't even have and like I get like in the game, I don't think he had any problems with the people in the stairwell either. But I can tell you, I had a lot of fucking problems getting into that room to save Ellie. Right? Like me as the player of the game, you can't have him get shot a million times. I get it, but the whole premise that they've told you building up to this point, and this is what the show is pointed out, right? I'm getting old. I can't do it. I'm not going to be able to get you there alive. You should go with my brother because I'm not good for you, Ellie, right? This was a whole thing that they planted in our minds.
Yeah.
Why did that not matter?
An episode ago, you were basically dead.
Yeah, why did that not matter? And like, what is it? Dad strength? Is that what they're going to tell me? It was fucking dad strength is why? Yeah, I just don't like that. That's my, and like I sound again like critical and fucking negative. It's because LeBron James got me all fired up.
It wasn't even his fault.
But I'm fired up, people. I can't fucking help it. I'm fired up. And I've been sitting on this for like a week, right? This happened a week ago or 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
2 weeks. So we've been sitting. I don't even feel bad about the story spoilers anymore. Sorry, guys. But yeah, I've been sitting on this for 2 weeks, and it bothered me. The length bothered me because maybe that's like, why'd you have to do 43 minutes? Why? Like, why did that feel like the appropriate amount of time to invest in the final episode of the season? And it took for me a show that had done really, really, really good. It's like climbing, and instead of peaking, it just kind of slowly dipped and went back up. You know, yeah. And then let's get into the next part of this because there are rumors, right? There are some rumors about season 2. I think I wrote notes in my phone, possibly about this at some point. Oh, yeah, I'll get back to that. Remember, we have a what people should watch.
We have a what now?
I wish I'm gonna have to cut around the tissue use there.
Yeah, please. There's an emergency.
At the end, I just want to make a suggestion for what to watch. But there was like a whole spiel. I'm kind of bummed out. I don't have this like readily available. But like a couple things that they were talking about. They were saying that they don't that they're planning on splitting the second game into more than one season. Like breaking it up. And
so you rushed through the first game and now you want to slow it down?
Right. And like I think it's because I give them this credit, like, or I'll give them this like a little bit of leeway. They didn't know, you don't know if you're going to get a season 2, right? You can assume you have a great product. You can assume everybody in the world's going to want to see it, but that doesn't guarantee that they're all going to want to see it. So I get that. That's not
they see the success of it and now they want to milk it.
This is what me and Steve talked about, right? Drawing things out to make more money. That's what this is now. And that's fine. The game 2, there is a lot there. And from an emotional standpoint, if they want to keep telling the emotional stories, there's going to be a ton there. But then it does make me worried. How many filler episodes are you going to throw in now if you're going to keep trying to expand this out? And at what point do you water down the product? Because maybe the reason season 1 has been so great is because you had this really nicely condensed story that you told.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't want to be negative. It was good. The whole entirety of the show was good. But a lot of my concerns that I had going into that last episode felt like they rang kind of true. It didn't feel different enough at points from the game. It almost felt like it fell back into like the game a little bit. Like staying right on it. But then at the same time, you could have stayed more true to it. If you're going to go all the way into the game side of stuff, then make the action sequences feel more. Because it is... anybody who played the game tells the people who haven't to watch the show because it's not about the zombies as much as it's about the people. We understand that the people's decisions and the fact that there's no bad people or good people, it's just people who have to make hard choices. We love that about it. But it doesn't change the fact that it's a first-person survival shooter, or not a first-person, but like a survival shooter zombie game. Like that's what it was. Like you had the chance to give us a really cool, like I've watched enough great action movies to know that there was something there. And it doesn't take a huge budget to make that great. Die Hard, not that different to me, right? Like same type of scenario, working your way through the building, a bunch of fucking people holding it hostage. Like it's not that different. Like, there's just plenty of things that they could have done. The Negotiator. That's not that appropriate of a comparison, but kind of.
Okay.
I'm not going to stay here too long. It's a movie it's a show that came out 2 weeks ago. I'm going to watch season 2. This overall was a great experience. I recommend anybody who hasn't seen it yet to watch it. Like, it's amazing. It's just, it could have finished stronger in my opinion.
Maybe I'm too easily pleased, but it seemed like you were pretty critical there.
Yeah, I guess so. As far as what to watch, because we're going to get out of here. We're running out of time. The movie Scream, I just remembered because I wrote this down, was made by the people who made the movie Ready or Not. Have you seen that movie?
Ready or Not? Why is that fuck, Google.
Thank God you have a computer in front of
you. Also have a smartphone and an iPad. No, I have not.
Go out of your way to watch that. You especially because you said you're just getting into like, and this isn't a slasher.
Is this like a murder mystery?
Yeah, more murder than mystery, but
okay.
Yeah, but it's Ready or Not. They were the ones who made Ready or Not. Ready or Not was like a surprise hit. It made a ton of money. They're actually talking about finally getting around to making a second one of that. It had the other, so there's a couple girls right now that are being considered the next like queens of Scream. It's the girl Melissa whatever from Scream. The new main character, right? Jenny Ortega is pretty up there. And then what's the name of this girl?
Samara Weaving.
Samara Weaving. She's one of the other ones. She's in Scream 6, by the way. That's the girl. You remember who she is?
No.
I'll tell you after. So Ready or Not is my recommendation for you to watch this week. Dante, do you have anything you want to tell people to watch? It's okay if you don't.
No recommendations this week.
All right. Cool. Well, it has been great having you all with us this week, joining us from, as I said, the 10th wonder of the world. As everybody knows, the 9th wonder of the world, China.
Wait, what?
China. No, the wrestler, China. It was her gimmick. You wouldn't get it. Congrats to Leon Edwards. Dope-ass fight this weekend. UFC welterweight champion of the world. Not going to have time to talk about this week. Maybe we'll get into it again next week. But a super dope fight. If you haven't caught that yet, check that out. Gaethje versus Fiziev, also a really good fight. Check that one out. You can find us on Instagram at For Those With Good Taste, on Twitter at Good Taste Live, on all podcasting platforms such as Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, These Nuts. And Dante, they can find you where?
You can find me on Twitch at Dirty Water ENT and on YouTube and Instagram at DirtyWater_ENT. I've been having technical difficulties the past couple weeks with my computer, but look out for some posts on there very soon.
Yes, check that out, please. Lastly, you can find us if you aren't watching us now. We are on YouTube, and we also have a TikTok. Nothing serious, but you can follow it. It has been real, guys. Thank you. I'm sorry about the LeBron thing, but not sorry. It was, the guy's an asshole. It was well worth it. Until next week, we love you. Peace out.
That guy's an asshole, he says.
For those with good taste.